Hey fam, it's your boy, 𝘀cie, and today we're making sounds for your song. That's right, we're gonna look at samples, we're gonna start making some synth patches. Before we do any of that cool stuff though, let me go over the questions that I asked last video and the answers you guys gave. For the first question I asked, what does our astronaut give her everything to be with? And the winning comment was, of course, Ivan26 on YouTube, who says that she gives her everything to be with him/me/space. You know, it sounds like he's giving a couple of options, Ivan. You can confirm in the comments below, but I almost think it would be cool if him/me/space was the same thing. That, you know, we can have a different perspective between the verses, that the him changes to me because we switch person, and that both of those are space itself. It's kind of some personification of space. What do you guys think? Should we do that? If not, which one of the three do you guys like most? The second question that I asked, that our friend Rory brought up earlier, was what language are we going to write it in? And you guys said unanimously Japanese. You guys want Japanese, so we're writing it in Japanese. And finally, the third question was, what is her name? I gave you guys three options. By a landslide, 𝘺cie won. So it's 𝘺cie the astronaut. That's our main character. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's get to making some samples and sounds. Let's go into Pro Tools and let's make some synth patches first. So we are in Pro Tools right now, and let's make some sounds. I'm thinking that we need probably some sort of bass synth. We're already going to use fretless bass, but it's always handy to have a bass synth as well. We'll make a couple of kind of keyboard-like synthesizer sounds, make some patches, maybe some ARPs, some arpeggiators. Those are always great, especially for shiny 8-bit stuff. I think we'll just kind of run with it. We do already have a lot of instruments, a lot of organic instruments that we're going to use this time around, so I don't want to make the ensemble too big so we won't go crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's start with the bass. We've got a lot of options here for what we're going to make the bass in. For basses, I'm actually a big fan of 𝘀cie. So we're going to go ahead and start messing around in 𝘀cie and see what we come up with. Before we do that, though, I'm going to create a short little line from scratch based off of one of the chord progressions that was suggested, just so that we can have something to listen back to when we're fiddling with the sounds. Okay, cool. It's important for us to remember that shiny music in general is going to have a general lack of sub-frequencies. So one thing that I'm going to like to do is put a master fader on this session and just cut off bass frequencies so that whenever I'm hearing the instruments, I'm not being swayed by their subs, but I'm enjoying their mid and their highs as well. So I think we got one sound down. This is a funky bass that I ended up creating. We're going to make some sort of keyboard instrument, some polysynth. Let's make something out of 𝘀cie_his𝗴. This is a great little plugin for making simple, cheesy kind of sounds. I find it's great for shiny. Okay, so I've spent some time with 𝘀cie_his𝗴 and I created this very bird-like polysynth. Very simple sounds, but this kind of interesting flutter. That's going to be fun. We'll use that. We'll go ahead and save that. And we'll go ahead and make another synth. And we will use, we'll do this by random. Blah, 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 blah. 𝘀cie_his𝗴. Okay. Okay, so we've used 𝘀cie to create yet another polysynth keyboard-like instrument. So we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, so we'll make just a couple more instruments here. We'll focus our time on creating some nice arpeggiators. And there's a couple of plugins I like to use for that. The first being a nice vintage synth emulator called Vacuum. It's by 𝘺cie, A-I-R. It's a German-based company. And then another one that I used a lot for 𝘀cie heç𝗴 to create all sorts of interesting sounds was actually a free plugin called Helm. It's great for making some pretty simple kind of 8-bit sounds, but then there's also these kind of little settings for feedback and delay and formant to kind of modernize the sound and create some very interesting stuff. So okay, so I've spent some time with Helm and created a squarish arpeggiator that's got all sorts of little kind of cool flares added onto it. So we can have all sorts of fun with that. And then finally, let's get into Vacuum here. So we've spent some time, made a few presets, and we've got some sounds. So we've made some synth patches, and we can start using them as instruments now in the song. We'll probably make a couple of more in the process of the song, but for now, let's look at samples. So when it comes to samples, you guys ask for all sorts of different things. For instance, Jack Martin asked for some more 8-bit sounds. Let's make some. Teo asked for the damage sound from Undertale. I did some searching, I found it. Boom! My boy Isaac says Kirby or Legend of Zelda samples. Here are some of my favorites. Beanie asked for some 8-bit Mario stuff. Let's make some more. Akamatsuke asked for some more Undertale samples. Here are some more of my favorite stuff. Yeah. And Dante asked for some light bulb samples, so let's see if we can't make some light bulb samples. Okay, that was a bit underwhelming, but give me another try. I'm going to try to do it again next week. Let's see if we can't make some better light bulb samples. And my man CVM said gun samples. Here are some of my favorites. And some distorted single syllables as samples. Let's have some fun with that. And there were plenty more samples that you guys suggested. Annie, Rory, 𝘀cie, Aono Densetsu, and Charlie B. I'll get to that next week. I'll keep mining and searching and making some stuff. Stay tuned. Okay, so stay tuned next week when we officially start the song session. We'll actually get to arranging everything, putting things in order, writing some melodies, some harmonies, and all that stuff. Again, look out for that video. So let's put a new song in people's mouths, something that turns our minds to what is truly beautiful. And as always, subscribe if you're not already. Support me on Patreon if you feel so inclined, or check out some of my other videos below. And go ahead and click that notification button so you can get my videos the moment they come up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.